the toy over the truth.
Welcome to Fairy Tales English Journey. Today we will explore a wonderful story about true value. Have you ever received a gift that seemed simple but held great beauty? Sometimes people ignore wonderful things because they are natural. We will learn why real treasures are often hidden in plain sight. Let us begin our magical journey together. This story is called The Swineherd. It teaches us a very important lesson about knowing the value of real gifts. We will learn new English words while enjoying a classic tale. Listen carefully to how the characters speak and act. You will discover that true beauty cannot always be bought with gold or silver coins. Once upon a time, there was a poor prince. His kingdom was quite small, but it was large enough to rule. He wanted very much to marry a princess. He was brave and handsome, so he decided to ask the daughter of the emperor to be his wife. He prepared two very special gifts for her. The first gift was a beautiful rose tree. This tree grew on the grave of the father of the prince. It was a magical tree because it bloomed only once every 5 years. But when it bloomed, it produced a single rose that smelled so sweet, it made you forget all your worries and sadness. The second gift was a lovely little nightingale. This bird had a voice that sounded like all the most beautiful melodies in the world. The prince placed the beautiful rose and the singing bird into 2 large silver cases. He sent these wonderful natural treasures to the grand palace where the princess lived with her father. The emperor received the large silver cases in his grand hall. The princess was playing there with her ladies-in-waiting. When she saw the large silver cases, she clapped her hands with great joy. She hoped they contained a clever mechanical toy or a beautiful piece of jewelry. She loved expensive and artificial things. The emperor opened the first silver case. Inside was the magnificent rose. The ladies-in-waiting all sighed and said it was made very beautifully. But the emperor touched the petals and smiled brightly. He said it was more than beautiful because it was a real living flower. The princess suddenly looked very disappointed and sad. The princess touched the flower and began to cry. She complained to her father that the rose was not artificial. She was very angry that it was just a natural flower. The ladies-in-waiting agreed with her and said it was a shame. They did not understand the true magic of the beautiful real rose. The emperor told them to wait before being angry. He opened the second silver case and the lovely nightingale hopped out. The bird began to sing a wonderful melody. The song was so beautiful that no one could say a single bad word about it. The sweet music filled the grand hall with pure happiness and joy. The emperor had tears in his eyes because the song was so moving. He said the bird was truly wonderful. But the princess asked if the bird was a mechanical toy. When she learned it was a real bird, she became very angry again. She refused to let the prince visit her grand palace at all. The prince was very disappointed, but he did not give up. He decided to try a different plan to meet the princess. He rubbed dark dirt on his face and pulled his hat down low over his eyes. He put on old torn clothes and walked straight to the grand palace to ask for a job. He knocked on the door and spoke to the emperor. He asked if there was any work he could do at the grand palace. The emperor said he needed someone to take care of the pigs, so the prince was hired as the Imperial swineherd. He was given a tiny dark room near the pig pens. The prince sat in his tiny room and worked all day. By evening, he had made a very clever little pot. The pot had small bells all around the edge. When the pot boiled, the bells rang and played an old cheerful song. It was a very charming tune that made everyone want to dance happily. But the most magical thing about the pot was something else. If you held your finger in the steam, you could smell what was cooking in every kitchen in the town. This was much more interesting than a simple rose. The prince smiled as the bells played their sweet melody over and over again all evening. The princess was walking past the pig pens with her ladies-in-waiting. She heard the bells playing the cheerful song. She stopped and smiled because she knew how to play that exact tune on her piano. She thought the swineherd must be very educated to know such a lovely melody. She wanted that musical pot. The princess told one of her ladies to ask the swineherd how much the pot cost. The lady put on wooden shoes and walked into the dirty pig pen. She asked the swineherd what he wanted for the musical pot. The swineherd looked at her and said he wanted 10 kisses from the princess herself. The lady-in-waiting was shocked and said she could not ask the princess for such a price. The swineherd replied that he would only sell the pot for 10 kisses from the princess. He would not accept gold or silver coins. The lady ran back to tell the princess the terrible and shocking news. The princess said the swineherd was very rude. She started to walk away, but the bells played the cheerful melody again. The music was too wonderful to leave behind. She told the lady to go back and offer 10 kisses from the ladies-in-waiting instead. She thought that was a very fair and generous offer. The lady went back and gave the new offer. But the swineherd shook his head and refused. He said he must have 10 kisses from the princess or he would keep his pot. The princess sighed and said she really wanted the magical pot. She told her ladies to stand around her so no one could see. The ladies-in-waiting spread out their large dresses to hide the princess. The swineherd stepped forward and the princess gave him 10 kisses. Then she took the musical pot. The princess was very happy with her new toy. The ladies-in-waiting cheered because they could finally smell all the dinners in the town. They spent the whole evening and the next day boiling the pot. They knew exactly what everyone in town was eating for dinner. The ladies danced around and clapped their hands. They thought it was the most wonderful invention in the world. They completely forgot about the beautiful rose and the sweet singing nightingale. The swineherd was very busy making his next magical toy. This time he created a wooden rattle. When you swung the rattle, it played all the waltzes and dance tunes ever known in the world. It was a masterpiece of mechanical music. The swineherd tested it, and the beautiful sounds echoed through the dirty pig pens. The princess was walking by the pig pens again. She heard the wonderful music from the rattle and stopped immediately. She told her ladies that she had never heard a more beautiful composition. She told the lady-in-waiting to go ask the swineherd how much the rattle cost, but she refused to give any more kisses. The lady walked into the pig pen and asked the price. The swineherd said he wanted 100 kisses from the princess for the magic rattle. The lady ran back and told the princess the outrageous price. The princess said the swineherd was crazy and she walked away. But the music was simply too wonderful to ignore. The princess stopped and said they must support art and music. She told the lady to offer 10 kisses from the princess and 90 kisses from the ladies-in-waiting. The lady went back to the swineherd with the new offer. The swineherd refused again and said he must have 100 kisses from the princess. The princess was very upset, but she wanted the rattle very badly. She told her ladies to stand around her again. The ladies spread their dresses wide to hide the princess from view. The swineherd began to count the kisses slowly. The ladies counted along to make sure he received exactly 100 kisses as promised. The emperor was standing on his balcony at the grand palace. He looked down and saw the ladies-in-waiting gathered near the pig pens. He wondered what they were doing, so he walked down quietly to see. He wore soft slippers so they did not hear him coming. He walked right up to the group. The ladies were very busy counting the kisses. They wanted to make sure it was fair. They did not notice the emperor standing right behind them. The emperor stood on his toes and looked over their heads. He saw his daughter kissing the dirty swineherd. He was completely shocked and very angry at what he saw. The emperor took off his heavy slipper and hit the swineherd and the princess right on their heads. They were at the 86th kiss when he stopped them. He yelled at them to leave his kingdom immediately. He banished both the princess and the swineherd from his grand palace and his lands forever. The princess stood outside the kingdom gates and cried bitterly. She said she was a miserable creature. She wished she had married the handsome prince when he offered his beautiful gifts. She realized her mistake, but it was too late. The rain began to fall and her beautiful, expensive dress became very wet and dirty. The swineherd stepped behind a large tree. He wiped the dark dirt from his face and took off the old, torn clothes. He put on his royal princely garments and stepped out into the rain. He looked so magnificent and handsome that the princess bowed to him. She thought he had come to save her. But the prince looked at her with cold eyes. He told her that he had come to say goodbye. He said she did not appreciate the beautiful real rose or the sweet singing nightingale. She rejected true love and natural beauty, but she was willing to kiss a dirty swineherd for a cheap mechanical toy. The prince told her she was not worthy of his love. He turned his back on the crying princess and walked away. He went back to his own small kingdom and closed the door behind him. The princess was left all alone in the cold rain. She had lost everything because of her foolish choices. The princess could only stand outside the closed door and sing the sad little song from the magical pot. She finally understood the true value of the gifts she had thrown away. She traded something real and beautiful for something fake and silly. Her greed and vanity left her with nothing but a broken heart. This famous story teaches us to value what is real and true. We often get distracted by shiny things that are not important. The princess wanted toys and tricks instead of genuine love and natural beauty. She learned her lesson the hard way when she lost her home and the prince who truly loved her. The rose and the nightingale represent things that come from the heart. They are gifts of nature and true affection. The magical pot and the rattle represent shallow things that only entertain us for a short time. True happiness comes from appreciating the simple and beautiful things that life and nature give to us freely. When we look at the world around us, we should seek genuine connections. A real flower will always be more beautiful than a plastic one. A real song from a bird is more touching than a mechanical tune. We must learn to see the beauty in honesty and simplicity, just like the wise emperor did. The prince showed great patience and cleverness. He wanted to test the character of the princess. He discovered that she was shallow and cared only for silly amusements. This is a good lesson for everyone learning English today. We must focus on building a strong and kind character instead of seeking empty and foolish rewards. Let us review some important English words from our story today. The word artificial means something made by humans and not by nature. The princess loved artificial things. The word genuine means something real and true. The prince offered genuine gifts, but they were rejected. Using these words will help you speak English much better. Another useful word is banish. To banish someone means to send them away as a punishment. The angry emperor banished his daughter from the grand palace. The word magnificent means extremely beautiful and impressive. The prince looked magnificent when he removed his dirty disguise. Practice these words to improve your English vocabulary every single day. We also learned the word vanity. Vanity means having too much pride in your appearance or your things. The vanity of the princess caused her downfall. The word appreciate means to recognize the good qualities of something. We must learn to appreciate the real gifts in our lives. Keep practicing these words with your friends. Reading fairy tales is a wonderful way to learn English. The stories are full of rich descriptions and exciting events. You can imagine the beautiful gardens and the grand palace. You can hear the sweet song of the nightingale and the cheerful bells of the magical pot. This helps your mind remember the new words. When you listen to stories, try to repeat the sentences out loud. This will improve your pronunciation and your confidence. Tell this story about the swineherd to your family. Explain to them why the princess made a terrible mistake. Teaching the story to someone else is the best way to remember what you have learned. Always remember that true beauty is found in nature and in kind hearts. A simple gift given with love is worth more than 100 expensive toys. The prince knew this, and that is why he tested the princess. He wanted a wife who understood the true meaning of love and the value of nature. The emperor also understood the value of the rose and the bird. He was wise enough to see their true magic, but he was too proud to forgive his daughter. He let his anger control his actions. Sometimes even wise people make mistakes when they are very angry. We should always try to be forgiving. If the princess had accepted the real gifts, she would have been a queen. She would have lived happily with a kind and handsome husband. Instead, she let her foolish desires ruin her life. We must make sure we do not make the same mistake in our own lives. Always choose what is real and true. Thank you for joining Fairy Tales English Journey today. We hope you enjoyed this classic story about the swineherd and the foolish princess. We hope you learned many new English words and a very valuable life lesson. Learning English can be a magical adventure when we explore these wonderful old stories together. Keep practicing every day. Please remember to appreciate the genuine gifts in your life today. Look at the real flowers and listen to the real birds singing outside. Share your genuine love with your family and your friends. True treasures are all around us if we only open our eyes and our hearts to see them. Have a wonderful day. Do not forget to watch our other fairy tale videos to learn more English words. Every story holds a new adventure and a new lesson. We will continue to bring you the most beautiful classic tales from around the world. Your English will improve quickly as you listen and learn with us on this journey. We are so happy to be part of your English learning experience. Keep smiling and keep reading wonderful stories. The world of fairy tales is always open to you. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking the real treasures in your life. Goodbye from Fairy Tales English Journey. See you in the next video.